Hello everybody and welcome back. We've been back almost a week, I guess. We came back on a Ryanair flight out of Birmingham about 6 o'clock, I think it was. Excuse me. And it was half empty. It was fantastic. It was half empty. I went for a quick wee before we got on the plane, and in the toilets at Birmingham Airport, these machines with all this stuff in. Now, I don't know about you, but if you're just about to board a plane, the last thing you want to do is take a tablet for endurance, is it? You know, I mean, there's not enough room on a plane to even have a sleep, let alone do anything else. So the Ultra Gold can wait, and especially at that price. Just coming into land now at Malaga. So after our week, we're back home on a half-full flight. So yeah, I had a couple of seats all to myself. My wife had all three of her row to herself. What we do aisle and aisle, you know, because it's better that way. We've done the others, and we've decided this is the best way. So the only time you can't speak to each other or see each other is when the trolley comes down in between you, but other than that, it's a good way to do it. So yeah, it was half empty, which was great. When we got back to Spain, we're allowed, because we're residents, we're allowed to go through the EU channel with our card, our residency card and our passport, and that was nice and quick as well. So yeah, but Birmingham Airport, now that's security, not so keen on that, but that's not as bad as Manchester. We've been to Manchester before, and that is bloody awful. Can't stand that place. Not Manchester, just the airport, you know. Manchester Airport, God, blimey. Anyway, so we arrived back to shitty weather, just like you guys. I've got Chandra, we've got, I don't know, Susan, Derek, Peter, I've got no idea what they name them. But why do they do that? Why do they call these storms names? Because if someone says, oh, Peter's coming round or Sandra's coming round, normally it's a nice thing, you know. But this Peter or Sandra's going to rip your bloody fence up and take the roof off your shed, you know. So I think they should call it something more evil and destructive rather than a nice name, you know, like Chandra or Peter or Sarah or Susan or something. Yeah, because I really don't quite get that, you know. Maybe what they should say, Beelzebub is coming or something. You go, oh right, got it now, I got it now, my garden's going to be wrecked. And then also, when I was watching YouTube and TikTok and all that, I can't believe people are going out filming in the bloody wind and everything, because it's not the wind that will kill you, it's the wind blowing the roof off of some building at half the street down, and it flying down and hitting you on the head and cutting your head off. So I never quite understand why people go out and stand there in the howling wind, pouring rain, and especially right by the sea, because you get washed in. You know, there's all sorts of stuff. Anyway, that's beside the point. So I've been hibernating for a few days, letting this all wash over, and now that it has, I'm out and about again. So I'm just going to go and get some gas, which is my first thing, my first priority. Then after that, I'm going to maybe get something to eat. My wife's got the hospital this afternoon, routine stuff, so we're going to go down there later to Malaga, and the hospital down there. The biggest problem with that is parking. It's a pain in the arse, but I have actually found a new place down there where I can park. So I'm going to go round, do the circuit a couple of times, and if there's no joy, there's this little car park I know I'm going to dive in there. You've got to pay, but it's worth the hassle. It's worth taking the hassle out of the parking. Anyway, I'm going to go and do my rubbish now. See you in a bit. Now, I am very aware that when I did one of my videos a couple of weeks ago, I basically said that retiring in Spain, I was going to do something on like the financial side of things. Well, so much has changed since then that I recorded it, and then I kind of put it on hold because things were changing, and then I put it on hold again because of like Rachel Reeves rumours and stuff like that. So there was all sorts of stuff, and one of the things that's always going to happen is change. That's the thing, isn't it? You know, one certainty in life other than death is change. And so no matter what you plan for, no matter how you plan it, it can always change. And I've been looking at all these adverts for trusts and scams and pensions and all this kind of stuff, and there's such a lot out there that obviously the more there is, the more of a minefield the whole thing becomes. So I will look into it a little bit more, but all I can tell you is that at my current age, but I'm not infirm or anything, I need less money now than I did when I was working. Right, that's a fact. I need less money now than I did when I was working, and I can get to do everything I want to do. Well, I'm not having an Australian holidays, or I could, but that's a different thing. But in terms of my pension, etc., etc., retirement, you actually need less than you did before. You don't need suits, you don't need cufflinks, you don't need ties, you don't need to use the car as much, you don't need to go to any lunches, you don't need, there's nothing really you need to do. You do what you bloody like now. You don't have to mix with people you don't like. That's a bonus. Ah, that's great, that is. All those arseholes you had to spend time with before, now you don't have to. You know, I've had a few of them over the years. That's what they should have named those storms after. People I didn't like when I was working. You know, like, oh, storm so-and-so's coming. I think, oh yeah, horrible, horrible. That'll be a shitty day, won't it? So yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to make a list. Anyway, I'm going to go and get my gas now, which is what I've come out for. That was my main purpose in popping out this morning. So I'll catch you later. Well, that wasn't very successful. Opened my boot, I got out my bottle, then the girl comes running out of the petrol station. No way, which means there is none. So I popped it back in and heading back home again in the rain. Oh my god, when will it stop? Oh, anyway, yeah, so on the finances thing, I am no expert. I'm not a financial advisor or planner or anything. I'm just a person that's experienced it, that has retired. As I say, you definitely don't need as much money as you did when you were working. I mean, shoes, I've got loads of shoes, and I've not worn any for 10 years. I've just worn trainers. No, that's a lie. I have worn a pair of shoes twice. Once to a wedding and once for an official appearance somewhere. So yeah, I've worn shoes twice in 10 years, but the rest of the time I go around in trainers, which probably explains my fallen arch on me right leg. It fucking kills me, it does. When I walk for about 10 minutes I get this terrible pain in my calf. I've been to see people about it. I've been to the doctor, I've been to a specialist on arteries and all that kind of stuff. He's checked me out. He said no, nothing wrong with my blood flow, that's all good. So apparently I've just got to keep walking, and hopefully the blood flow will find new ways of getting round to oxygenate the muscles. But I suppose I need to lose weight really as well. That's the thing, because I've put a few pound on since I've been here. And when I came to Spain I only weighed like 11 stone. I'm a bit of a skinny mini. And then I put some timber on, as my nephew called it when he saw a picture of me. He said, "Ooh, he's put some timber on, hasn't he?" Well, I have, but what the thing is, this is the bad thing, is that when I was skinny, everyone said how ill I looked, right? Because my face was quite gaunt and everything. I was healthy, but I looked like I was nearly dead. Now that I've put weight on, Well, since I put weight on, everyone says I look much better with a bit of weight on, you know, puff me up a bit. So that makes me reluctant to kind of lose it. But I know from a health point of view, I really need to shed a few pounds. So I'm going to start that now. My wife's been doing great, but hers has been because of medical reasons. Mine's about prevention. So I've got to get on it. So I haven't actually got anything in the house now that's going to be overly tempting. So I have got some biscuits, but they're sugar-free ones, no added sugar. Well, it's not the same, is it? Sitting here trying to dunk a load of bloody sugar-free ones, because they're really not the same. I've got nothing that's really fatty, like cheese or anything like that. That's all gone, that's all out of the house. So yeah, I am trying, but I'm not trying like 100%, I'm not full on it, but I will be shortly. Got a wedding to go to in October, so I want to be able to turn up there a little bit thinner than I am today. But also, on that subject of my wife going to the hospital this afternoon, you know, I mentioned, when we go to see her consultant, he says, oh, you know, well done, you've lost all this weight, etc., because it's really important. And then he says to me, what about you? And I'm not even his patient. I'm just sat in the corner of the room, you know. I'm not his patient, and I said to him, oh, well, I'll try. Yeah, but I'm not even his bloody patient, and he's telling me, goodness gracious, I just thought I was there for support, not for bloody harassment, getting harangued by a consultant. What about you? You know, because over here they don't mess about. If you're fat, they call you fatty. That's it. There's none of this woke political correctness. If you're fat, you're fat. There's no other word. There's no alternative. That's what they call you. So basically, you can't go in there and expect some really nice, empathetic, you know, oh, you know, you're a little bit, no, you're fat. That's it, end of. So as far as he's concerned now, I'm fat, really. My wife's not though. My wife's done really, really well. And I've just got to follow suit now. So anyway, I'm going to go and have a look at this weather and the results of it. So I'll catch you later. I'm just down this little park area, and I don't know if you can see, but the trees and everything are really taking a battering with this wind. There's a few of them that have come out. Down there. Yeah, they've taken the right battering. And like anything, you know, if we're living here in harmony with trees and stuff, you have to manage them, don't you? You can't just let them go and do their thing. I mean, if humans weren't on the planet, they would obviously look after themselves. They grow tall, fall over, rot, make coal and diamonds. But because we're here and we want to protect our property and everything, we have to manage the forests in order to give them room to grow and thrive. Which is why, like, when you watch, I don't know if any of you watched that Jeremy Clarkson's farm, he did a thing in his woodland, didn't he, cutting down trees, and people are writing in, slagging him off like a good one, you know, say, oh, bloody Jeremy. But of course, it does, you know. I got cut off by my timer. I think the washing's done. So when I go home. But yeah, all slagging him off about cutting his trees down and all that kind of stuff. But forests and wood, I don't know anything about it. I'm not a specialist by any means, but it's common sense, isn't it? You know, if you let everything try and thrive together, it just doesn't work. And you have to make room and space and so on. So that's what he was doing in that program, and there are all these people slagging him off, you know, about it. But I can appreciate it, and especially standing here now looking at trees that have fallen where they've grown too tall, and obviously the wind has got them. There's not been enough space for roots, and they just literally toppled over. So yeah, there we go. But it's spitting now, Spitting, fine rain. So as promised, here at the hospital now. This is the hospital car park, but you can never ever get in here. So it's actually reserved for doctors only. There's the hospital behind us. Anyway, it's all been done. Oh yeah, there's the sea out there. See, if you're going to be ill, this is the place. Anyway, that's all done. We had an appointment at 4:30. We've been in, seen the consultant. He wants to see my wife again in June. We've made an appointment for June. We've gone downstairs. He wants a scan as well. We've made that appointment for May. Blood test all sorted. Job done. So efficient. It's really good here. I love it. Well, I don't love the hospital, obviously, and I don't love bad health. But if you are ill, you know, this is a good place to be. Now the hospital's done and dusted. We've come for something to eat at our, well, my favourite shop anyway, El Corte Inglés. Here comes the guy. Hold on. Sorry about that. He's just been and taken the order. So I'm having what they call the Corte. It's a sandwich, like a club sandwich, and it's the Classico in this particular place. So anyway, the store is El Corte Inglés, and then upstairs is the restaurant. And I've just ordered the sandwich for the Corte, so when it comes I'll show you. But it's quite interesting what they do. They make a hole in the top slice and pop an egg in it. Just saying. I know I said earlier I was going to start a bit of a diet. Well, look, potatoes, very healthy they are, look. There's an egg, very healthy. Bit of chicken and all that, lovely jubbly. And then here's my wife's, a little poke bowl, very healthy. An example I should take maybe. So back home now in the comfort of our house, and warm, dry, as opposed to outside. So I'm going to cut it off here, and until the next time, take care everybody, and I'll see you then. Bye for now. Bye.